Welcome back to KILIMO High. We are going to discuss more on other types of dairy goats, plus details on the construction of goat housing and the factors to consider before you start the construction.
My name is Jackson. I'm from Turkana. Last year, we began by breeding some German Alpine. Yes. So my question is the buck that served the female, is it allowed again to serve the offsprings?
No. That is what we are calling inbreeding. You must have your lineage. This is the father of these kids. He is not supposed to serve the kids. He can only serve the mothers in that farm, only. If it comes to the kids, you must get another buck from another generation to serve the kids. You find you can have like 3 or 5 mothers in the same farm, yeah? If this buck serves all the mothers, it means all the kids that will be born in that farm, they are cousins and sisters. They are not supposed to be served by that buck. You must get another buck to serve the second generation. So you must have a record of the first generation, second generation, like that.
I'm Stanley from Meru. Yeah. Now, I would like to understand when you are saying that you should get another buck from another farm or of the same generation.
No, what I mean is you have your first generation. Let's call this generation is your starting point. You have 5 mothers. You bought them maybe from us, okay? If you buy goats from us, and you will sell you together with a buck, and we'll tell you this is the buck and it cannot serve the kids. So for the kids, you must get another buck which is from different place, and they are not related with your animals. You see, it's just like human beings. You cannot, with the kids and the cousins, they cannot be a man and a wife. It's the same thing. Actually, with goats, if the inbreeding comes in, the production goes down, and also the reproduction also goes down, and also fertility goes very high, and also the body size, they go becoming small. The way every time the inbreeding again in the same lineage. If you start from the top, utaona ule wa kwanza alikuwa mzuri, wa pili amechange, watatu, so the last time waine akifika waine hata sometimes they don't even survive. Yeah, and actually for the rabbits is even worse. For the rabbits, they die there.
So to understand what you're telling us, if I buy 5 mothers from you today,
yes,
and I need to go look for another buck somewhere else. And then when let's say, for example, the 5 mothers have been served by this one buck. Yes. Now I need to do away with it.
Yes. Yes, no, you will not do away with the buck. The buck can remain there, and it can only be serving the mothers. Every time the mother, 5 mothers. Yes, the 5 mothers, the father will always serve them because they are not related. You will still use it until unaona it's like sasa imezeeka. Yes. So the second generation, you get a different buck from a different generation. You get now. That's the second generation. This second generation will give you that generation. But the second generation cannot be served by the father of the first generation. Yes, so you have to be very careful when it comes to the generation. You have to know, this is my first generation, this is the father. This is the second generation, this is the father. And alternatively, you can remove all those bucks. You have the first generation, second generation, and the third generation. Those are 3 bucks you have. You can remove all the 3 bucks, get another buck, which is not related to any of the generation, and it can serve all of them. Yes. Yeah. Actually, that is the easiest. You get the first generation, second generation, third generation, you remove all the bucks. And then you bring another buck. Yeah. But currently, maybe because like as we're working on the AI service, if we are able now to succeed on that, we'll not even need the bucks. Yeah. But AI has been a challenge. Every time, like each time they were doing the AI, the person who was doing that project, after he was done with the project, he left it. I hit Domba, they are telling us they have the buck, but I've used it 3 times. The outcome was I didn't like it. So for now, I'm still using the back until now we come up with a proper way of getting a good AI system. Yes.
So the AI system is not available in Kenya yet?
It is there, but it's not something you can trust. Yes, it's something that is not reliable.
They talk of the gala bags being very good. Can we mix them then?
Yes, you can cross. Actually, I was talking to somebody. Okay, I do a lot of research on the goats. I talk to different people from, like there's a guy I was talking to from, I think he's in US, but he's from here. And he was telling me how you can crossbreed a Gara and an Alpine, and the outcome can be very good. I've not tried that. I'm yet to try, but I will try that because I also want to bring in the Boer goats, I also want to bring in the Gara goats, and I also want to bring in the Kalahari Red. So once I get those 3 types, then I'll be able to see which one, if I crossbreed this and this, what can I get? What is the outcome? Because, okay, the breeds are already here in Kenya. Like we have Malewa Farm doing the Boer goats. We have some other guys in a room. This place where it keeps on flooding is called what? And you go to Maimahio, Narok. There's some guys there doing the Kalahari Red and the Gara goods. Yeah, and I have their contact. So once maybe I'm ready for that, then I can bring them in, and then we can see what we can do. To me, and to be sincere, I have a goat that has given me 5 liters. So I'm still working on that goat. I see how much more can it give. Yeah. So it's possible for a goat to give you 8 liters. It is possible.
And if a goat gives you 5 liters, and for how long? Like what I know with cows, it will give you 20 liters on onset after birthing. And then after that, then it keeps reducing. So how long will it be until it?
The one that gave us 5 liters, it has given us continuously for 3 months. But if you have consistency in feeding, a goat is able to maintain the production for 1 year.
How long does it take for it to come back on heat?
If you're feeding it well, after every 21 days, it's on heat. So what we do, when it comes on heat, we don't serve. But with the Alpine, it comes on heat. It reduces the production like for 3 days. It can come back again to its production. But Sanen, once it comes on heat, it reduces the production. If it was giving you 4 liters, it goes to 3 liters. It doesn't go back to 4 liters. It maintains the 3. So if it comes again on heat, it goes down again. So you have to serve it. But an Alpine is able to adjust. It's able to, it comes on heat, it goes down, and then it goes back again to the production, as long as your feeding is consistent. In the housing, you'll be able, it's more of practical than theory, but there are those points that you need to consider when you're doing your housing, depending on the climatic condition in your area, depending on the space that you have, and the terrain. I think, like here, kumeinama sana, sindio? So lazima uconsider hiyo milima na mabode hapa, kama hapa kwetu unajenga. And when I talk of climate, like this place is very cold. You realize, like as we've done a hole, all of it imefungwa nje na ndani, nje, because of the cold. If you are in a place like, you say in Nandi, it's Turkana, it's very hot. So it means your house can be open. There is somebody else who is in town. You need to consider the space that you have, you want to keep a goat. But even if you are in a plot, as long as you have like a space of 4 by 5, it's enough for one goat. Goats are very proud animals, I would say, and they are very clean. So you don't expect to keep your goat on the floor and it gives you milk. So when it comes to the housing, they sleep somewhere up. Na hapo juu ni kama kitanda. Yeah, it's raised, ni kama kitanda. But in between, you have to leave gaps, ndio droppings yanguke chini. And in between the gaps, we did some maths. Kidogo kidogo hivi ndio ujue ni gap gani utaacha hapa ndio hiyo dropping yanguke chini. tukaona 1 inch. So between the tiber you leave 1 inch, and then the floor. The floor has no shortcut. The floor of that cube, you have to use the tiber of 2 by 1 or 2 by 2, in such that when the dropping ikigonga hapa, ikigonga itaanguka. Sijui kama unaelewa. Ikigonga hapa itaanguka. Lakini if you use something that is wide, the droppings will not fall down. So you'll have extra work of sweeping that cubicle. So if you want that cubicle to remain clean, there must be gaps in between to allow the droppings go down. And then the tiber that you use is either 2 by 1 or 2 by 2. And there is a way you do it. You do it across the goat, not along the goat. Kama mbuzi imeangalia hivi, it should go across. Ndio isiwe na allowance, hiyo dropping isiwe na allowance ya kukaa kwa mbao ndio ianguke. Juki ukiweka along the goat na mbuzi imekaa hivi, when it is the droppings are down, ikianguka hapa haitaanguka chini. Tunaelewana? But we'll see that there. But you understand what I'm saying, eh? Yeah, so that is it. And then when you're doing your house, you have to consider the direction of the wind. It's very important. So you do it, again, you don't do against. Against is this, eh? Along against, eh? Where the wind is blowing to, the head should not look at that side. Tuko pamoja. If the wind is blowing from this side, your goat should look at that side. Or it should be... Eh?
I'm saying that the head of the goat should be
No.
facing the same direction to which the wind is blowing to.
The wind is blowing to, yes, but not the opposite side. That way you avoid the problems of pneumonia. Yeah? And then if you're in a very cold place, you have to make your house warm. And then if you're in a place that is very hot, you have to make your house conducive for that animal. And then it should be aerated. There should be air, circulation of air it's very important. Because if now there is no air circulation, when the droppings and the urine come together, they form ammonia, and that ammonia is not very good for the goats. The back is a male, the door is a female. If you want to put them together, then the back should be at the far corner of the house. And we learn that when it comes to the milk. Are we together? So you must have a provision for the back where it should be far ahead from the others.
You've talked about the doe and the bucks. What about the young ones? Are they going to be mixed or also they are going to be separate?
When you're doing the house, it depends with how you want to do your goats. Like here, the kids don't suckle. We give them milk. So if you're doing your house and you want to separate the kids and the mothers, you must have a special cubicles for the kids, which now the floor is different because their legs are small. So the gap between should have 1 inch. And then it should be also very protected from the wind and cold.
I was wondering about the lighting. The lighting? Yeah, do they prefer darkness or some kind of...
No, when you're doing the roofing, you provide some clear mabatis for some lighting. You'll be able to see that.
That's all we had for you today, and thank you for joining us. See you next week, same time, same place, for yet another edition about dairy goats, where we will be discussing about goat feeding, diseases, and their management. This is Kilimo High, and remember, kilimo ni uti wa mgongo wa uchumi wetu.